Star Wars. We're gonna talk about stars and wars and fights and not using a song.
Do you hear that?
There's no bees.
There's no bees.
There's no bees.
And that's the start of an episode of the Boss Battle Show.
Left, right. BA selected start.
What's up, guys? I'm Adam Ronan. I am joined today by the illustrious Jimmy TJ Combo. And let's just do the damn thing. We're gonna talk to you about two very important things. One of which
Two-parter special.
This is a little bit longer episode because we're gonna dissect the Star Wars Battlefront beta that was I think a couple weeks ago by now.
Video games and movies.
And as predicted by me a couple episodes ago, the trailer came when I said it would.
What is our prediction count at right now? Is it? I mean, we're batting 1,000.
It's over 9,000. What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right. Can it?
Well, I can tell you what it's. I can tell you.
100 out of 100.
All of our predictions have been right on, except for the one time I thought the trailer was going to come out on Force Friday.
Yeah.
That was it.
Otherwise, we've been done so far.
So let's start with Battlefront.
We both got hands-on
We
time.
both got. I mean,
quite a bit. I think.
I put in like 18 hours in that game. Like I sucked the Battlefront. Wiener.
You were actually one of the few who I think was somewhat successful in terms of like trying to figure out the mechanics and what they were trying to give us. Because one of the initial problems, and they even admitted to this, is that being a rebel sucked. Like you were at the disadvantage.
You were.
And there were some balancing issues right from the get-go.
And I'll say this to those of you that maybe played the beta and you're like, beat the rebels! So, yes, you will lose as the rebels if you played it as a deathmatch game. If you're just running around trying to kill the Empire.
If it's TDM, you're done.
You're totally done because they've got the AT-ATs, they got the AT-STs, they got the TIE fighters. You can't stand up. No. But it's a goal-oriented match. Like, people don't understand that the Walker Assault is a mission-based thing. So you got to take out the uplinks, you got to put up the uplinks to get the Y-Wings. The Y-Wings come in, and if you have an orbital assault, which you can get all over the field, as soon as those AT-ATs are open for attack, you drop one orbital assault on it, and that takes them out almost completely. Towards the end of the beta, people started understanding. That was the problem with the beta. It didn't tell you really what you were supposed to do.
They were like, here's the objective, but they didn't explain to you actually how to achieve that or anything, which it makes sense. I mean, it's not the full game. They're not giving us, all the how-tos and the walkthroughs, and there's not YouTube videos on how to do it already. But it did feel a little imbalanced, which is probably going to be discouraging for some players who played the beta, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to buy that because I feel like I'm just going to get raped by the
Empire.
By the Empire. So.
I mean, that's pretty true to the movie. I mean, the Empire did come in and fuck some shit up on Hoth in Empire Strikes Back.
They should be stronger.
Yeah.
But people who are worried about their kill-death ratio are never going to accept that in any kind of first-person shooter game.
But they do, for those of you that are stoked about that kind of thing, they do have those modes in the Blast mode, which is a traditional team deathmatch. So you'll have those. They're there. Yeah. So don't stress. Gameplay, were you into it? Like controls? Because you're pretty knowledgeable on the
I'm a big player.
That's FPS.
And there are some mistakes they're making already, I think. One of which is we don't know if these things are true yet because we still have to wait and see what they're going to release in terms of full game details. Guns were pretty boring overall. There's not a lot of customization to them, and that's something that FPS players want. We want to make the guns our own. I want to use this scope, I want to use this firing, I want to use this color. This is my gun that I kill people with, and not just a generic blaster.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was perusing their Facebook page.
You almost said troll. You were trolling.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wanted to, but I was perusing their Facebook page, and every time they post something, people will comment, and they're really good about commenting back on like 60% of all of them.
Right.
And somebody made that exact comment, and they said we're not ready to comment on custom guns and loadouts just yet.
Right.
So I feel like, rest assured, maybe that's not something we need to worry about.
But that's something that could make the game a lot better. I want to use gun A, scope B, color C, like you just make it a little bit more.
Maybe you want to like set lasers to stun, you know?
But we didn't get to see the customizations really, because you get to create like your own little character. And you can change the appearance. It's just not available in beta.
And they've got the hands with the star cards. Oop, I'm bringing back your quotes.
No, quotes are coming back.
But so that's kind of I'm almost afraid, not afraid, because it doesn't bother me as much, but that's where their customization is going to be, is like customize your loadout hand or whatever.
Right.
You know, where you got like the jetpack in one, the thermal detonator. He's holding a thermal detonator.
2, it's so arcadey, and I've heard this from people on the street who are just talking to me about this game. You know, I go to work and they're like, "Hey, did you play it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like before I could say anything, they're like, "It feels really arcadey. I hate picking up the power-ups." Because there's gonna be power-up poachers, guys who are just, the spots for the arcade little pop-ups were always the same.
I thought they were randomized.
Oh no, there was some that always popped up in the exact same spot.
Oh, okay. So it must have been the hero power-ups that were randomized, because that was never in the same spot.
The heroes were randomized, but like the TIE fighters and stuff were always in the same spot. So you could just poach those. That could be a problem. I mean, that's just like sitting around, waiting for the boomstick.
I'll say,
because you played the original and it was not arcadey like that.
No, I mean it had arcadey elements, but in terms of for Battlefront 2, when they really got into the vehicle portion and you could get in it, the thing is you ran to your fucking snowspeeder, got in the snowspeeder, and then took off.
Right.
And I missed that element because it's super immersive and it's got everything.
Like
but then
so much in the experience when you do that. Yeah.
You know, I saw a counter argument that was like, when you get the TIE fighter power up or whatever, it's supposed to be not you in the TIE fighter, it's you calling in the TIE fighter, and then you just take control of that.
Right.
So, okay, sure, I can see that. But I did think the power-ups, while I'm okay with it, did take me out of the immersion a bit. I had a lot of glitchiness in my beta, which is fine, because that's a beta, but I had a lot of problems with mine. So the first time I saw the hero power-up, and I was like, yes! Yeah. And I ran to it, I got it, and I fucking started to boot up as Vader, and then my game froze. And I was like, no! So that was it, and then I got to play as Luke like the next day, and I got killed in literally 8 seconds.
$50 DLC season pass, which will probably be estimated, I'm guessing, as $60 if you don't, because typically a $50 season pass typically includes 4 sets of like map packs and drops and all that, and you typically buy them at $15 increments. So if there's 4, 15, $60, math.
Yep.
You just have math done.
I'm up a two-edged sword here. They're like, boom, $50 season pass, you're gonna get 4 full-fledged expansions. And I was like, I like their tricky wording of their like expansions, because gamers are on board with expansions, right? Even though fucking DLC is an expansion, but
you say expansion and it's like, oh yeah, I want an expansion. You say DLC and they're like, yeah, you guys are bastards.
So the problem is that's a huge chunk of money, and the other problem is it's
almost like buying the game twice.
Well, first they're already giving us the Battle of Jakku expansion for free on December 18th when the movie comes out. You get that expansion for free, and that's a prequel to Force Awakens. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that, and that's
Gamers
free.
love free stuff.
Yeah, and
free
it's free. That's good. So I am assuming that the expansions will be full-fledged. Here's new maps, new missions, and I bet you there's going to be like Force Awakens expansions where you get to play as like Kylo Ren and stuff. So I think they'll be significant. I mean, they can't. I know it's EA.
They have to
but they can't charge that much.
They literally have to be, because it is so much money.
Nothing will stand in our way.
Let's talk about what's really exciting. There's some bad things we can say about Battlefront, because you never know. But there's nothing bad to be said about what we're about to talk about now.
I have not. I mean, you troll the boards, as you would say. You scroll through the comments. Everybody is so hyped for this. Like everybody is just like a little kid ready to just go to the theater and just let the tears come out. And I think maybe we tried to hold back a couple when we watched the trailer. He didn't hold back.
So
we're
talking about the trailer, obviously, you fucking fucks. Little preface. So when the second teaser came out, Gordy and I went and saw The Hobbit, Battle of 5 Armies in the theater, right? And we're chilling, and we're like, we're in this huge IMAX screen, and we're like, they gotta show the Star Wars trailer again, because we'd seen it, but we hadn't seen it in theaters yet. And sure enough, they showed it, and I'm not kidding. Like, Gordy and I have known each other for a very...
came out and you're bootleg.
Gordy and I have known each other a very long time, so it was no big deal. But like, we both literally started crying next to each other in the theater. Like, the goose hair was like all fucking crazy, and we were just like
bubbly.
It was like as soon as when Han and Chewie came on, and like, Chewie, we're home. Like, I looked over at Gordy and he was all like this, and I was all like this,
Right.
and I was like, oh my god! And same way, like I knew it when I was watching this new trailer. Like I popped it up and I was just like, and I was like, it's just a quivery little bitch.
I think we would have known immediately that if this looked like the first movie, part 1, right? If we would have saw a preview like that, fans would have known immediately. Then I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams gets it.
Oh, well,
like he
it's because
gets it. That
what's so
man
cool about-
lives it like everybody else has lived it. He's a fan more so than most of us.
What's cool about Abrams is like if you watch some of his earlier movies like Super 8, the kid in Super 8's got Star Wars toys and hanging TIE fighters in his room. Like JJ grew up with it, like
That's
our
how it
older
was.
brothers and sisters did.
Right.
Like with the first, like, and he had all the toys. He was a huge super fan. Like we are. He was basically just a fan that grew up and like everyone always says the last couple Star Trek movies were the best Star Wars movies of the last decade.
Yeah.
That weren't Star Wars.
That weren't Star Wars movies. So we're glad that he gets his shot at this.
And it's gonna be so good.
Because you watch that trailer and you're like, everything's great. There's not a bad moment.
No, and we're not going to try to dissect it because everyone's tried to do that. And I can tell you, I got theories coming out my butthole. There's so many things, and you know, I've gone through frame by frame of the thing.
Kylo Ren actually is Luke Skywalker.
Oh my god, if I hear another person fucking say that, I'm going to punch some fools.
Right. Well, that goes back to the pitch of having Luke Skywalker turn evil to J.J. Abrams like forever ago.
Wait.
So I think that's where they're probably pulling that.
Well,
from.
sure, you can pull it, but they had an official photo shoot in Vanity Fair where it shows Adam Driver as Kylo Ren with the helmet off, and you can see him, and it clearly shows him in the trailer, the very last scene when he's going towards Finn, his helmet's off, you can see his hair, it's not fucking Mark Hamill.
What?
Mark Hamill isn't a 6'4" lanky dude. Mark Hamill's only 5'9". Do you nerds not know?
There would be beard, and trust me, I know this firsthand. If it was Mark Hamill, there'd be beard sticking out of the side of Kylo Ren's mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would see it
No,
immediately.
it's not Kylo Ren's Adam Driver. It's a totally new character, and that's the end of that. It's like a fact. Like, I'm not even just speculating.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, you're not going to see Mark Hamill until the last 10 minutes of the movie, so fucking get over it, nerds.
Which I hope is completely wrong. Or that'd be crazy if it like goes into the next one and then it's like all Mark Hamill all the time. But I love Mark Hamill.
But I'm going to drop the biggest spoiler on you. Like, what are you going to do if 2 hours in, Kylo Ren, when he takes off his helmet, and it's, you just see 2 fish ears pop out, and he's like, Misa gonna! And it's start
It's
every...
gonna continue.
Misa gonna go bad, boom, boom, or whatever.
And we finally get to see Chewie just rip his arms off and beat him with them.
Yeah, he gets all drum solo.
Then it gets weird.
Okay, anyway, Star Wars is happening. We're stoked about it.
It's real. It's all real.
Yeah, but you guys say more like Harrison Ford, where it's kind of like you've had a stroke. So
Just like you're
kind of mumbling.
You're a grizzled.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah. He's starting to come off a little Jeff Bridges.
Anyway, what do you think? Did you watch the trailer? Did you play Battlefront? What's up? Get us on the twits.
Cat.
And we will see you next time for another installment of Boss Battle des Shows.
Smoke cloud. Poof. We disappeared. Still here. Gotcha. That one just fucking moved. I swear to God.
Nope.
No, the one on the bottom did.
Something. I've been watching it.
No, something in there just moved. I looked over. Something moved. There could be something in there. Just heads up when you.
There's something in the light.